Welcome to 71 at Beyond. I'm Darrell Smith with 99 Eats. Today we're making my childhood favorite, shrimp and grits. So here we go. First, obviously, you got to start out with grits. And grits are ground up corn. And so if you didn't know that, like this is ground up corn basically. What I'll do is I'll eyeball it. And so it'll be water. I got the water boiling. Once that water gets up to a nice little boil, we add the cream. All right? So in here, I probably got about, like I said, I'll eyeball it, maybe 2-3 cups of water. And so we'll get that going. And then meanwhile, while that's going, typically what I'll do is I'll shred cheese. But with mozzarella, typically I buy that in a bag already shredded. Typically while I have the water boiling, what I'll do is I'll start to chop my ingredients. We got a little parsley here, which will go on as a garnish. And also, garlic is a key ingredient when you're working with shrimp and grits, because it'll add that flavor to the shrimp. All right. So, like I said, we got our water boiling with our cream. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start to whisk this, because if you look at it, it's starting to get a little bubbly on top. And so we'll just let that whisk together. That'll start to heat up. And so now we get to the fun part. We'll start to add our grits. And the thing I like to do specifically pertaining to grits is I'll add enough grits until I start to see it form on the top. With this, I'll typically add enough grits until I start to see it on top. That's definitely not enough grits, so we're just gonna open up the canister and pour a lot more in there. And so when you add your grits, make sure that you continuously stir it, because if not, then it'll clump together. And so the first step to making a good grit is to stir it continuously until you think that you got enough. All right, boom. So we'll let that thicken up. And since this is a lot of grits, like it'll take a little time, but you'll know. And the cool thing about this is if you add too much, just add a little bit more water. Like, it's totally fine. All right, so we get that cooking, stir that up. And so what I'm feeling at the bottom is I start to feel it collecting, and that's how I know I got enough grits. So this is starting to thicken up. As you can see on the outside, you'll see the grits actually forming. And so when you see that, you know that you got enough liquid, hopefully. And then if you see the grits, these are starting to come together really nice. So this is good right here, just like that. You see how it's still a little watery? That's what we want to see right there. And that's when you know to add the cheese, all right? I would say maybe a half a cup. Maybe a half a cup, all right? Half a cup of cheese. So we got that in there. We'll mix that up. There we go. So now you see it starting to thicken up, right? That's exactly what we want to see right there. Sticking together a little bit. And then you add your extra sharp cheddar. It just adds like an extra layer of complexity to it. Same thing with that. About a half a cup of that as well. And I just want to get that thoroughly incorporated. So just keep stirring. Just stir that up. And you feel it. Like you'll start to feel it get a little more tougher to stir. And that's when you know you got a good grit. Exactly when you know. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to turn this down a little bit more. Just let that chill. Next, the star of the show. We got our shrimp. And the cool thing about shrimp, like I said, it takes very little time to cook, and it takes very little seasoning to make it taste good. Like you want that taste of shrimp when you eat it. So there we go. We got our butter, shrimp. Boom. Just layer this around the pan. Keep an eye on your grits. They're starting to bubble a little bit. I'm gonna stir that right after I put these in. I'm gonna just let that sit. You're not gonna touch them. We're just gonna take a little bit of salt. Sprinkle that over. Boom. Not too much. Stir up our grits. You see the grits, they're starting to form nicely, and that's exactly what we wanna see. See that? Now it's thicker. Now it's thicker, all right? Stir that up. Just keep letting that simmer. Just keep letting it simmer. Let that go. And the way that you know that shrimp are done, which is so cool about shrimp, is that they actually tell you. Like, you don't even have to keep an eye on it. You know, like, all right, it's pink, flip it over. That's it. Once you see that it's pink, flip it over. And so with this, 2 to 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes per side. And now we'll actually add our garlic. We'll add our garlic now. we'll add quite a bit of garlic because we want that butter to infuse with it, okay? Looks good, feels good, tastes good. And we'll just start to plate these, right? Get yourself a nice helping. Pour that in. But now you just go around and you just lay your shrimp around it. You can put it on the side, like that. Or, the way I do it, I just put it right in the middle. Like that. Then you're gonna take this. Take a little bit of that garlic butter. That right on top. Got garlic on there. Boom. You got that. We're gonna take a little bit of this parsley. Sprinkle that on top. Like that. I'm gonna take that lemon that we squeezed out a little earlier. Right? Zest that over top. Like that. That's shrimp and grits. Boom. Super simple, right? That's it. And now I'm gonna hand these out so y'all can try it, all right?